Within this video, we'll be looking at function parameters. In our previous video, we looked at functions where their purpose is to have code that's reusable throughout the program. Functions can either return a value or not. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at how functions can return different types of values. So if we look at the three main types of ways a function can return, so I might just zoom in here a bit. There are three ways. You can do it by value, by reference, and then something called out. And they each have slightly different implications on how we to return a value. So we can see this is our main line here by the main, and then we are calling up in these three instances a value from a particular function. Now when you call up a value, you can actually say how the value is treated based on these three different instances. So the first one, we can see that our value is set as 0. However, in this function here, it says 1. Okay, so what happens here is, you can see my commenting is we copy the value across, but we do not change the value at the instance here. So that's the reason why it will stay as 0, even though we bring across. So this is really good if you want to do some calculations locally. Say you're doing something that requires on a constant, but you don't want to have an impact directly on the main line. So this is very common, the int. The second type is by ref. This one here is where we overwrite the value within the function. So what will happen here is this 2 will overwrite the value inside of 0 inside the main line. We use this quite often, especially if you want to make permanent changes inside the world or inside the main line. And then finally, the last option is called the out int or out. It's not used very often, but sometimes when you bring values across into the main line, you might want to return more than one value, or you might have made multiple changes inside that function. So this out here lets you bring across more than one value back. So examples might be, you might be doing geometry or something like that, and you're asking for some sort of angle, but as a result of the calculation here, you're returning two different types of values back. You'd use the out function. So finally, if we run this, or press F5, and then we do a comparison, you can see here that the by value has had no change on the original value of 0, because all we've done is copy it across, and we have not overwritten the value inside the main line. However, when we use the by ref function, we can see that we have overwritten the value of 0 in the main line. So be very careful when using by references. You only want to use it if you actually want to change the value at the location that you're calling it at. And then the last example, you can see here, works the same as by reference. However, remember I said the out is also very useful if you want to modify, rename the value, or bring other values across at that location there. So it's okay to probably stick to using the ref at the moment, but as you get more advanced at C#, you probably will start using the out function. Yeah, so that's overall how function parameters work. Just be mindful that a function is not just for the purpose of calling up a piece of code and returning no value. It is also mostly used for bringing values across. If you've got any more questions, you can email me or look at my other YouTube videos. Thank you for watching my video.